My name is Amanda Strickler-Holman, and this is my introduction video for EDL 959. A little bit about me is I was born and raised in Colony, Kansas, which is a very small rural town. I graduated from a class size of about 23. Upon graduating high school, I had one goal in mind, and that was to continue my volleyball career, which I had the opportunity to do at Bethel College. Upon completing 2 seasons, I knew that Kansas State University was where I belonged. Both my parents graduated from there, and I also did in 2015. I loved every experience at Kansas State University, and I got my bachelor's in agriculture education with a minor in animal science. Last summer, I got married, so we'll be coming up on our 1-year anniversary in July. So that has been a new experience for the both of us this past year. I currently teach at a 4A high school about 12 miles from where I grew up. I am the coach of our volleyball team, which we just had summer skills this morning. And again, since I'm the agriculture education teacher, I am in charge of FFA, and I absolutely love my job. I have a huge passion for agriculture, and the top left picture represents my national team 2 years ago, and we won state again in dairy cattle evaluation this past year, so we will be representing Kansas for the 3rd year in a row at National Convention in October. So that's pretty exciting, and I'll get to have a group of 4 new judges. And then the picture on the right is Miss Ellie Mae. She was my show heifer when I was 12 or 13. So she's been with me for quite a while, and she's kind of like my dog. I love to travel. The picture in the top left is a picture that I took at the Bahamas a couple years ago. And then the bottom picture is our friend group that we do a lot of activities with. And we ride trails and ATVs. And all 3 of us decided to get married within a year. So our next friend group wedding is at the end of this month. And then I guess we're all hitched from that point. Then the picture on the right is on top of my horse out on a family farm. I love to be outdoors and really anything with animals. So I thought that's a pretty cool view. Moving on to the content of part of this section. So academic activities, what I came up with in our school and what we do for academic activities, we have Upward Bound. They're an outside entity that comes in, and they help students freshman year all the way through, and if they're in it, they get a scholarship, I believe, on basically doing things that the parents are not doing anymore, or serving underprivileged children. How do we get in? What do we do? Applications, community service. It's just trying to better set them up for those interested in going to college. SWAG. Well, I call it SWAG because that's what's called at the middle school. I'm not sure the acronym, but at the high school we have a little joke. We do not tell the kids this, but they came up with Mustangs achieving great goals on time. But if you do that like acronym, it turns out to be a maggot. So we don't really call them in the maggot program, but what it is those kids that need a little extra help, a little one-on-one, that are failing several classes. We go in, and actually our principal and our counselor are in charge of that. They have about 4 or 5 kids. We really focus on the freshmen and sophomores, and during seminar time, our principal has those kids, just giving them proper study habits, get this out, what do you need to work on, etc. We have before and after school tutoring, summer school, Safe Base. Safe Base is more geared towards elementary. It's basically like an after school program with curriculum so that parents that get off later can pick their kids up around 5:30 or 6. We have internships, Life Smarts team, and I considered yearbook. National Honor Society as well. I think I skipped that, and Scholars Bowl. The picture in the middle represents one of my students in ag at his internship, and then the picture on the top right is one of my students teaching a lesson in our Safe Base program. So we do try to get our high schoolers involved, even with our younger kids as well. Again, my administrator supports these by being involved in some of them. He allows outside entities in to help. And internships are highly encouraged for seniors. We have a deal with seniors that if they meet all the requirements, they just have to be here second semester for their 2 required courses. So some seniors are only showing up 2 hours a day, and that allows others to do internships or just go to work. What do I think about these activities? I think there's a very good mix of helping those in need with resources, as well as those that are struggling and those that are extremely intelligent. So I think we did a good job of covering those in our school. Overall positive. If I was the administrator in charge, I think my principal does a really good job of being involved and being seen. But I would just try to maybe touch base with all activities or check in, maybe stay for tutoring once a month, etc. But I think the overall feel of these activities is that parents are extremely grateful for Safe Base and Upward Bound. We have a very high SES, so we have a lot of non-contact parents or hands-off parents, so that those parents that don't care, those kids still have resources if they do, and they can get some guidance and direction on where they view their life going. Non-academic activities, I am near and dear to FFA. I believe that I could have counted that on academic activities as well. All sports, whether volleyball, basketball, track, soccer, baseball, softball, tennis, etc. Student council, forensics, chess club, FCCLA, FBLA, HOSA, band, and we offer a Dungeons and Dragons club here. So we try to hit or provide activities for all different interests and types of students that we see. I would almost argue on some of these that these can be considered academic, because if you don't have the academics, you cannot participate in these events. I know I hold my students to that standard in both volleyball and FFA. So they go hand in hand, and a lot of students come to school because of these non-academic activities. So they try harder in class because this is the reason why they're there, and they know what they have to do to participate. How does my school administrator support these activities? Well, they're always at the games. They've driven vans for FFA trips before. I've had an administrator come pick up FFA kids to get back for a softball, baseball game. So really whatever I ask, they're willing to do. And we're allowed to host events. Like, we can host FFA events. I know that other people have had some conferences here. Forensics has. So they're willing to open up the facilities to help host that. What do I think about these activities? Absolutely love them. Again, some of these activities are why kids come to school. And why they find success and why they love it. I think these non-academic activities teach more life lessons than sitting in a classroom learning a subject. I don't want to call anybody out, but I have an appreciation for subjects too, but there's just some real world things that kids get through here. If I was an administrator in charge, I would make a point to support all of them, not just athletic events, celebrate everyone's success, encourage participation in types of these activities. I would highly, highly encourage trying to find a way to get students involved. I know at our school, we have about 350 kids, and it's probably the same 100 or less that are involved. And I feel like that's pretty sad. We need to get more kids involved in these types of activities. What do the community and teachers, parents? I think students, stakeholders, and parents view and appreciate these activities more than the teachers, those that don't have anything to do with these clubs or events. And I say that because some teachers can be really rude when kids miss their class for an event. But overall, everyone appreciates and supports it. Some carry strong traditions around the community, and the community supports it. Baseball is a very strong thing at our school. We are really strong in FFA, and I have community support that I can go to at any time. And sometimes when the school won't give me things, the community will get me those things. So it's just awesome. I think we're pretty supportive of all of these, that the communities know about it. What I have not seen my principal do is attend banquets. And I think this has to do a lot with the time that he has. But really, I think most other things I've seen him be involved or ask kids or something about what they're doing with these. Knowledge gained, non-academic skills are the skills that you're going to use later in life. I tell those kids all of that. I tell them that all the time. We need to be able to public speak. We need to be able to critical think and get our point across. 80% of parents and teachers think the same thing, that it is non-academic skills are very important. Our problem comes into the fact that these non-academic skills are not being taught at home, so the school is having to teach them. I truly believe that the school is turning into the parent, and our parents are not stepping up and being what it should be, so those responsibilities are lying on the schools. If you're just focused on academics, it's not leading to sustainable results. And that there was a Every Student Succeeds Act that holds schools accountable for having some non-academic opportunities within their school. Another some knowledge gained is the non-academic skills. There's confusion on what we should call them, whether it's one of the ones I remember was grit or soft skills or life skills. But dating back over 40 years ago, people were already knowing that students that lived in poverty weren't getting the same opportunities, so the War on Poverty was formed. Non-academic barriers can be social and emotional, as well as physical. And then mental health is a huge thing in today's world, and some kids are struggling with that. And then the We Care Act was established in 2011, and that makes schools report like our SES status, free and reduced lunch, things like that. Correlation, it provided me the opportunity to really think about the difference between academic and non-academic, and insight on principals, how they're involved in what I could do as a future building leader to help support those. My relevancy statement, I never really separated those twos out before because I'm a huge advocate and believer in extracurricular activities, but I do see the difference now between academic and non-academic, that things that are offered, and then it helped reinforce the importance of building leadership when it comes to these things, and a lot of them go hand in hand. My personal reflection is that I think each one of these activities mentioned, and I'm sure what others are going to mention as well too, it's important to some student, and that could be the reason why they like or succeed in school, so we got to keep that in mind, and that students are bringing all sorts of baggage and different circumstances to school, so Maslow's hierarchy of needs becomes a thing we need to keep in mind as teachers and need to develop relationships with them. And here are my works cited, 4 that were provided and 4 that I found. Thank you.